Okay, so on number 3 here, write a mathematical expression for one quantity in terms of the other quantity. Mackenzie found that her pumpkin weighed 5 pounds less than half the weight of Chad's pumpkin. Which quantity should the variable W represent? The weight of Mackenzie's pumpkin or the weight of Chad's pumpkin? So the first thing they're doing here, and then on the bottom, they're saying find the expression for the other quantity using the W or whatever letter they're giving you. So they're asking us which quantity should the variable W represent? So you want to start, or I should say, let W be, now what are my options? My options are either Mackenzie or Chad's pumpkin. It's either going to be Mackenzie's pumpkin or Chad's pumpkin. Which one should I, as you see right here, the weight of Mackenzie's or Chad's pumpkin, which one should W be? Well, let W be the one that is in the middle of the details. You always want to let W, your variable, whatever, or X or whatever, whatever your variable is, you always want to let it be the one that's in the middle of all the details. So is that Mackenzie or is that Chad? Well, that's Chad, huh? We're going to let W be Chad right here. W is going to be Chad, the weight of Chad's. Why? Because that's the one that's in the middle of all the details, right? Just read the sentence and you can see that. Mackenzie found, so there's no details around Mackenzie, but 5 pounds less than half the weight of Chad. Well, see, Chad is in the middle of all that detail. 5 pounds less than half the weight of Chad. Chad is in the middle of all those details. So we want to let Chad's be W. That'll just make writing the equation much, much, much more easy to do. It makes it a lot easier, I should say. I'm using bad English. I'm a math teacher here. It's going to make it a lot easier if you let the variable be the one. You don't have to. I mean, technically, you could let W be Mackenzie, but it's going to be way harder that way. It's going to be a lot easier for you to let the variable be the one in the middle of all the details. Okay, so great. So that's W. Got it. So then coming on down here, we need to figure out, so the other quantity, well, that's got to be Mackenzie then, because we've already got the W is Chad. So the other is Mackenzie then, okay? So we want an expression down here then for Mackenzie's pumpkin. That's the other quantity, must be Mackenzie, since Chad is W. Okay, so what's it going to be? What's the expression for Mackenzie? Well, Mackenzie, let's just take the sentence as it comes, found that her pumpkin is equal to, weighed, right? Equal to what? 5 pounds less. 5 pounds less. Do you realize that means the 5 is subtracted at the back? That's the key, is remembering that means the 5 is subtracted at the back. Now, if you're not sure about that, that doesn't seem to make sense at first. Let me just ask you, what if you said 20, or no, sorry, let's try again. 5 less than 20. What would you do with that? You would go 20, take away 5, wouldn't you? Every one of you would do that. Notice where you'd put the 5. You put it subtracted at the back. So see how you know right away when they're both numbers. Again, see how I'm always, whenever I'm confused about some kind of words, I just put in nice simple numbers and I think about what it means. 5 less than 20 means the 5 is subtracted at the back. Well, great. That's what it means here too then. 5 pounds less means 5 subtracted at the back. Okay, less than what? Less than half the weight of Chad's pumpkin. How am I going to do that? Half the weight of Chad's pumpkin. Can I go a half W like that? Because W is the weight of Chad's pumpkin, right? Right there, we let W be the variable representing Chad's pumpkin. That's what we decided on step 1. So a half the weight of Chad's pumpkin minus 5. Or did you know there's another So that is good. Or another good way, true way, is that way. You can just go W over 2 because that's the same thing as half, isn't it? Right? You could put a half in the front, or you could just divide by 2. Either way, you're taking half of W. Both are true and right. Both are right. And then you got to have the -5 at the back. So there we go. We start with W to be Chad's pumpkin, and then the McKinsey formula is half of W, or W over 2, -5.